ago, I was teaching typography, and I would get all these students in my class who were interested in design because they came from an arts background. Many of them drew, and a few of them were quite good, but my strong inclination at the time was to tell them to go home, to choose some other career, because the field of design is no place for artists. In fact, this profession is full of unhappy, frustrated artists, and the corpses of their careers are everywhere. Young artists come into the profession full of ideas and dreams, only to discover the strategical business of design. It's impersonality, it's client-driven focus, it's egoless, artless core. So at the time I wanted to spare those poor students from the disappointments they would surely suffer. But the difficulty with this course is that I am an artist who has somehow made it in the world of design. And my success has, since its beginning, been something of a mystery to me. I've attributed it to, yes, a certain amount of talent and skill, but also to no small amount of luck. But increasingly over the past few years, I've become first uncertain about, and then downright hostile to the strategic, business-driven focus of design. North America, and Canada in particular, are the strongest forces in this movement away from art or graphics toward impersonal rationalization of not only the process of design, but the very practice and perception of it. A few decades ago, the term graphic artist was abandoned in favor of graphic design as the rift between art and design began to widen. And this so-called debate of what is art and what is design reoccurs over and over again in conversations, publications, and ad infinitum on blogs. A debate which would have certainly surprised the forebears of our profession. So now in schools across North America, we see that even the term graphic is being banished from design programs to be replaced with the word communication, as designers hurl themselves into the arms of business, marketing, and information, and away from the former passion of graphic art. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about illuminated manuscripts, religious art, and the role of ornamental design in persuasion and seduction. It seems that all of the major religions of the world use complexity, detail, and ornament as expression of religious passion, honor of message, connection to a higher being, and as a means of persuasion or advertisement for the religion. As such, they are infinitely compelling, regardless of your religious beliefs, or, in my case, lack thereof. They instill a sense of wonder, the incredible skill with which they're created, the stunning perfection of design, particularly of the Islamic and Persian works. The hours of devotion they embody all combine in a force which is specifically designed to and successful at bringing us to our knees. And it's this work which is also designed to inspire. The origin of the word inspire is to inhale, breathe in. Ergo, you see something inspirational and you gasp. Inspiration is a moment of surprise. Hold that thought as I'll return to it. Amusingly, here's the state of religious persuasion today. I just saw this a week ago in the cathedral in Barcelona. It says, "Bless God, soul of mine," and for some crazy reason it looks like an ad for a vacation to a tropical island. So things in that arena have fallen considerably as well. Now, it was not so long ago that design and art were inseparable. At the beginnings of the profession, designers were artists who used their skills in the aid of design. Obviously, Toulouse-Lautrec, Kurt Schwitters, and Canada's own J.E.H. MacDonald, one of the group of 7, was a prolific designer as well. But even after designers became separated from fine artists, the hands-on nature of creating design necessitated an artistic eye and hand. And I don't need to give you a full history of graphic design to underline one point. From a contemporary point of view, it's not the Olivetti advertising per se that is of value, it's the artistic representation of that that gives it that iconic value and desirability. And we tend to look back on advertising such as this, as well as magazine covers of a certain era, and feel wistful about that time when clients would allow us to express ourselves in that way. Even those designers who purists hold in the highest esteem were in fact graphic artists in this sense. Saul Bass being a good case in point. Milton Glaser, and the designer of all designers, Paul Rand. Many of us think of Paul Rand in terms of his corporate identity developments in a very rational business sort of way. And in fact, Paul Rand was very much a graphic artist. And it's interesting to note that he always signed his material. So over the past 50 or 60 years, several things happened to facilitate the split between art and design. Of course, modernism, in which pure functionality is prized above all. Although the best of modernist design has an impeccable balance of form which escalates it to art, ideologically it was separated from art. The separation of design and illustration, which had a twofold effect. The designer became a conceptor, an assembler, and the illustrator took a role far down the ladder below fine art. Commercial work became taken for granted to such an extent that it is seen as being in the public domain, thus widening the chasm between fine art and commercial art. And of course, the advent of the personal computer and the democratization of design. This last one is very important because it had two major consequences. The first is that the computer removed the last remaining scraps of handwork from the process of design. Secondly, it took the mystery out of the design process.